As of today, our country allows deadbeat dads, murderers, HIV-infected people, transvestites, and transsexuals all to get married. Why can't we do the same thing for homosexuals? As a friend to many homosexual people, I've personally noticed the change and tragedy in their lives as they live on a day-to-day basis, and I feel that it's my place to take a stand for them so that they can have equal rights just like a normal person in the U.S. The government is obviously trying to invade the personal lives of people. How far are they willing to go? Personally, I don't think that I would love to have things, taken over by law by the government in my life, which is why we need to take a stand and fight for gay marriage rights. Throughout this discussion, I'll be covering the simple facts that isolating the homosexual population, discriminating them because of religion, and simply just standing by is not the right way to go about making our country an equal rights nation. Let's first take a look at how the government is isolating the homosexuals and invading the country's personal lives. According to balancepolitics.org, gay marriage laws state that homosexuals cannot have the same benefits from tax filing status, joint ownership, insurance benefits, and agency law as a normal heterosexual marriage. Just because of their sexual orientation, they can't have the same rights as a normal U.S. citizen. And second of all, I would like to point out that according to the CIA government website, our country, as of 2003, was $14 trillion in debt. That's the second highest debt in the world, and it's now approaching, as of this year, $17 trillion. But, there's people focused on the gay rights, that they cannot have the same rights as a normal person. And really, that's not even a problem in the U.S. Our economy is soon, headed towards crashing, and we're soon to become just like Greece, a failure. But God forbid that two people of the same sex get married. That's ridiculous. And we need to move our focuses onto the more important things in our country. According to domesticpartnershipflorida.com, the highest concentration of homosexual marriage and couples is in the country's political capital of Washington, D.C., which is very odd. Now, when it comes to the isolation that this country is giving to the homosexual population, Sierra Thomas, a writer for the website healthyplace.com, stated that 1/3 of the people that commit suicide as youths are gay. So this means that they're probably discriminated because of their sexuality, or people judge them, and that could be the reason why that they killed themselves. So based off of that statistic, as a youth, a homosexual youth, you are 300 times more likely to commit suicide than a heterosexual youth. Now that we've discussed the government's influence on the personal lives of the people of our country and how they isolate the homosexual population, let's take a look at how discriminating someone because of your religion is not the right way to bring our country to its equal rights title. First of all, our First Amendment states that religion or any lack thereof should be protected by the Constitution and our country. This is definitely not being shown when it comes to the homosexual population. We're basing this off of the law, off of Christian views. The only reason that it's a law is because Christians and other religions do not agree with it. So this is completely wrong, and it doesn't back our country's equal rights title. And if we're doing this because Christians, don't agree with it, then why don't we, make laws for people that cuss, for people that commit adultery? Why don't we? There's no laws for that, but two people of the same sex can't get married. And I don't think that religion should affect the way that our country is run, because apparently there's other problems at hand that will truly affect, the economy, politics, the government, that need to be dealt with, and we're not focusing on them because things like this, which should be dealt with on a personal level, not a government level, are being too focused on. It shouldn't matter to our government. Since we've covered the effect of religion on today's political world, let's discuss how the discrimination against homosexuals is in fact affecting us as people who cannot relate to being homosexual. So, for instance, a lot of people out there think that, well, I'm not homosexual, I'm not, you know, like me, or, most of my friends, we're not homosexual, but it's just the fact that, nationalism comes into play. We live in a country that claims to be an equal rights nation. We should all love each other and care about each other. But when someone else's rights are being discriminated against, that's affecting me. That's discrimination against my rights too. Because I'm claimed to be living in an equal rights nation, and so are you. So this should be affecting everyone as a whole. According to religiousTolerance.org, in 1993 there was a total of 4,973 suicides in the U.S. by the homosexual population. These suicides are more than likely, of course, caused by discrimination, judgment, things like that. Where could we possibly be heading in our country if this is happening? After hearing my speech, I hope you've obtained useful information to help you in the fight against the homosexual and gay marriage rights. Something definitely needs to be done.